This is All India Radio, Thiruvananthapuram.
In the English program, you can listen to a talk on the occasion of International Justice Day by Professor Dr. K. Vikraman Nair.
July 17th every year is celebrated as International Justice Day, or Day of International Criminal Justice. It was on 17th July 1998. The Rome Statute was adopted at a diplomatic conference in Rome, the treaty that established the International Criminal Court, the ICC. The Rome Statute entered into force and the International Criminal Court began its functioning in 2002. It was on 1st June 2010 at the review conference of the Rome Statute held in Uganda. The Assembly of State Parties decided to celebrate 17th July as the Day of International Criminal Justice. The celebration of this day each year is used by the people around the world as an occasion to promote international criminal justice and particularly to mobilize support for the International Criminal Court. The establishment of ICC was preceded by numerous international efforts to strengthen a system of international justice such as Nuremberg and Tokyo trial after the Second World War. Increasingly powerful international justice mechanisms from International Court of Justice and the ad hoc tribunals of Rwanda and former Yugoslavia. Despite all this, we could still see acts of inhumanity perpetrated with impunity by dictatorial regimes in different parts of the world, shielding themselves under the claims of national sovereignty and domestic jurisdiction. It is in this context we have to appreciate the significance of International Criminal Court. The ICC is the first permanent and independent international judicial institution capable of trying individuals accused of the most heinous violations of international humanitarian and human rights laws. The ICC investigates and wherever necessary tries individuals charged with gravest crimes of concern to the international community such as genocide, war crimes and war against humanity. Under the Rome Statute, the ICC can only investigate and prosecute in situations where the states are unable or unwilling to do so themselves. The court is participating in a global fight to end impunity, and the court aims to hold those responsible for such acts of inhumanity accountable for their crimes, and thereby help prevent these crimes from happening again. The ICC seeks to protect the people from such heinous crimes as genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity, and crimes of aggression. The Rome Statute, in addition to establishing the ICC, defines the crimes of genocide, war crimes, war against humanity, and crimes of aggression, and lays down new standards for the victims' representation courtroom and fair trial and rights of defense. Now let us see some of the key features of the International Criminal Court. Firstly, the ICC ensures fairness of the proceedings by conducting open and transparent judicial proceedings. Secondly, the Office of Prosecutor is an independent organ of the court. The prosecutor conducts a preliminary examination, investigations, and it is only the prosecutor, who can bring cases before the International Court. Thirdly, the defendants are entitled to public fair proceedings in a language they can fully understand. Fourthly, the victims are granted the unprecedented right to participate in the ICC proceedings, and their voices are heard in the courtroom. Fifthly, the participating victims and the witnesses are protected by operational and procedural protective measures. And lastly, the court engages in a two-way dialogue directly with the communities that have suffered from the crimes under its jurisdiction, so that the victims can communicate directly with the court and gains a sense of ownership in the judicial process. Thus, the creation of Rome Statute and the founding of the ICC can be seen to be a historical event, making a milestone in humankind's efforts towards securing a robust international criminal justice system and a more just world. Even while speaking high of the Rome Statute and the ICC, we should also be aware of certain problems and vulnerabilities that overshadow this international criminal justice system. For instance, the adoption of the Rome Statute in July 1998 itself did not receive universal acceptance and support. It was adopted only by a vote of 120 to 7, and the 7 countries that voted against the statute and the ICC included powerful states such as China, United States, Iraq, and Israel. India, among many other countries, abstained from the voting. The Indian delegate to the diplomatic conference stated that though India understood the need for the International Criminal Court to step in when confronted by situations such as in former Yugoslavia or Rwanda, where national judicial structures have completely broken down. The correct response to such exceptional situations is not that all nations must constantly prove the viability of their judicial structures or find themselves overridden by the International Criminal Court. Some of the specific objections raised by India as justifications for not signing and ratifying the Rome Statute are very significant. Firstly, the statute made the International Criminal Court subordinate to the United Nations Security Council. That is to say, subordinate to the permanent members and their political indifference. By providing the Security Council the power to refer cases to the ICC and the power to block any ICC proceedings. Secondly, the statute provided extraordinary powers to the UN Security Council to bind non-state parties to the ICC, violating the fundamental principles of Vienna Convention on Law of Treaties. Thirdly, some of the definitions in the statute, such as definition of crimes against humanity, and their applicability to internal conflicts would place the countries in a position of being compelled to be bound by provisions of international treaty that they have not yet accepted. Fourthly, the statute permitted no reservation or opt-out provisions to enable countries to safeguard their interest in the above situations, particularly in situations of internal conflicts. Fifthly, the statute inappropriately vested wide powers and unlimited competence to initiate investigations and trigger jurisdictions of the ICC in the hands of one single individual prosecutor. And lastly, the Rome Statute refused to designate the use of nuclear weapons and terrorism among crimes within the purview of the ICC as proposed by India. Of course, it is a moot point whether India should sign and ratify the Rome Statute. One has to appreciate the specific objections raised by India in the context of the peculiar situations that prevail Jammu and Kashmir, northeastern states, and other different parts of the country due to terrorism and other extremist activities, challenging the very unity, integrity, and security of the country. After all, India is a constitutional democracy that guarantees to its people rule of law and civil liberties, and a vibrant press and an independent judiciary that flourish in this country make those constitutional guarantees as meaningful living realities. Nonetheless, one can only hope on the occasion of this International Justice Day that India will be free from these difficulties sooner than later and will join the global campaign to strengthen international criminal justice system, because justice is a key prerequisite for lasting peace. International justice can contribute to long-term peace and stability in the world and also to build a future free of violence. Thank you.
You were listening to a talk on the occasion of International Justice Day by Professor Dr. K. Vikraman Nair. You were listening to a talk on the occasion of International Justice Day by Professor Dr. K. Vikraman Nair.
Next is a talk on life skills by Bindu Mathew, skill consultant.
Today, parents are worried about the employment prospects of their children, be it for the government sector or private sector. The COVID pandemic has affected industries like hospitality, tourism, IT, and ITES sectors, rendering many unemployed. It has resulted in social and mental health issues such as fragmentation of the family, suicide, depression, to name a few. Colleges are currently focused only on academic results, and all the stakeholders, the parents, educators, and students, their area of interest is in securing good marks for admission into professional colleges, other graduate courses, or from marketability in the employment space. However, education surrounding just the academics does not cater to comprehensive development that includes social and emotional growth and well-being. Students who develop soft skills are equipped with the wherewithal for personal and professional growth. These non-cognitive skills are critical factors for employability as well. With COVID, schools and colleges have a tough job trying to work through the academics during these trying times. There is a struggle with online classes, kids in isolation, and digital overload. During such situations, children are deprived of developing their social skills, and it creates a vacuum that can only be replenished through learning life skills. How are we able to equip our children with the skills that will make them future ready? What I mean by success is holistic growth. There are certain skills which are drivers of success in life. They are called life skills in general. For example, you want to make a furniture for your home or office, like a cabinet or cupboard. When you employ a person for that, would you prefer a person who does a perfect job but is not able to understand your need or doesn't even bother to listen to you? Or would you prefer a person who would listen carefully to what you want, apply their knowledge to it, and suggest and implement a solution which is up to date, functional, and closest to what you want? Which person among the two would you choose? Of course, the second one. However good you are technically, unless you can provide the solutions that your clients or others require, those skills might not help you enough. Do you know anybody who was a class topper in school but has not reached anywhere in life and is totally unhappy? Do you know anyone who is very intelligent and knowledgeable but you cannot interact with him even for 5 minutes? Have you ever wondered why they have turned out to be that way? According to research conducted by world-renowned institutes like Harvard University, Cambridge Foundation, and Stanford Research Center, 85% of job success comes from having well-developed soft and people skills, while only 15% of job success comes from technical skills and knowledge or hard skills. Knowledge without life skills will make our life difficult at work and in our personal life. Life skills can be learned and acquired through training. The life skills that employers seek include mainly 1. Communication, the ability to communicate along with others and be level-headed even in dire circumstances. 2. Decision making, the capacity to make timely decisions based on facts and logic instead of procrastinating. 3. Accountability, being responsible for one's action and words. 4. Commitment, tie yourself emotionally and intellectually to your role as an employee, son, daughter, spouse, friend, or sibling. 5. Flexibility, ability to adapt according to changes which are inevitable throughout our life. 6. Time management, making best use of available time. 7. Resilience, the ability to withstand adversity and bounce back from difficult life events. The list looks quite simple, right? Let us start thinking about equipping and instilling these skills in our children. It was established back in 1918 by Mann's study on engineering education that approximately 80% of success is due to soft skills, while 20% is due to hard skills. Let us help ourselves, our friends, colleagues, and our children to acquire these skills, which will go a long way in making them future ready and also lead meaningful, happy lives.
You were listening to a talk on life skills by Bindu Mathew, skill consultant.
This broadcast came to you from the Thiruvananthapuram station of All India Radio.